early on in my career, I realized that I wasn't going to figure everything out in this business on my own. If I was going to build the business that I wanted to build, the best way to do that was to ask questions and study the people that had built the business in the way that I wanted to build it. In 2019, I got the opportunity to sit down with some of the industry's best agents, and I got to ask them the questions that I always wanted to ask. Here's a couple of those takeaways. I know they're going to help you build the business of your dreams. Let me ask you this, to kind of take that next level, because we all have agents that will kind of get to a place where maybe they're having these upswings and these downswings, and the one that really gets me is the one that hits the plateau. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So what would you tell somebody that maybe has done okay in the business, has done pretty well, but they've hit that plateau and can't seem to break through? Is there something in particular you would suggest at that point?
Well, I hit the plateau. Like, this happened to me, and that's why I got into coaching. So I saw the things I was doing, it got me to a certain level, right, but it didn't get us to the level I wanted to go to. So then we had to reevaluate where are the gaps in our business, where are the money leaks. You look at each lead pillar, or maybe lead pillars are not even working, and really become analytical and know your numbers, your ROI, what your cost per lead is, cost per appointment, cost per closing, and we really got into those numbers. And we saw that in order for us to level up, we had to make a couple different changes. Mm-hmm. We had someone helping us, because a coach is just a business advisor. Right, yeah. That's what you guys are doing for your agents. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, we're all here for a reason. And when you approach it like a business instead of those people that just say, I want to sell 20 or 30 homes a year, mm-hmm, that's where the change happens. Mm-hmm. Because that's when you're running a business. When you know the numbers, you know what your costs are, you know how to level things up. And analytically, you can say, okay, I talked to 15 people to schedule an appointment, so I'm going to schedule 3 appointments today. I need to have 45 conversations. Right. And I know that 80% of the time the appointment's going to show up, and every 2 appointments I go on, I do a deal. Right. So then it becomes super analytical, and it's all data driven.
Yeah. So what's your week look like? Let's talk about that. I mean, we talked about the accountability. Let's go through kind of what a typical week looks like: training, coaching, everything.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm the biggest creature of habit on the planet. So I wake up at 5 a.m. I have a little morning routine that I follow a lot. Lately, it's been a lot of reading, and I just try to get my brain really, working early in the morning. I shower at 6. It's 5:45. I'm ready to go at 6. I eat the same thing for breakfast every day, which is usually 1 cup of egg whites, typically 1 whole egg, and usually like a complex carb, whether it's like a quick oats or grits or something. And I do like a 25 grams like a whey isolate shake with that and all my vitamins.
Yeah.
Same thing every day. Seriously, it's crazy.
It's really not working out for you, by the way.
It's not working out at all.
It's really not working out at all.
I take my children to school every single day. Both my girls, we leave the house at 7. I drop them off. I go to CC's Coffee. I get the same coffee every single day from the drive-thru. Yeah. I'm at my office between 7:45 and 8 o'clock every day. I typically meet with my admin staff because they share an office with me, so we'll chat, prep the day. We do Monday morning meeting with the team at 8:30, and that usually lasts till about 9:15. Prospecting or wealth, I call it wealth creation because that's what it is for me. Yes. And that happens between 9 and 11 every day. Yeah. After 9 or after 11, and I eat lunch and I order. I have a company who preps my food for me, so I eat at my desk most days.
Absolutely.
And in the afternoons, I should be on appointments. So listing appointments, meeting with the team, one-to-ones. I leave, and I try to leave every day at 4 unless I have an appointment. I go to the gym at 4 o'clock, and I work out till about 5:30. Puts me getting home at a decent time. We spend the afternoons and the evenings with my children. We do dinner. Read stories before bed, put them to bed, and 9:30, is I'm shutting it down.
Every day. It's almost the same thing, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You gotta fall in love with the grind and the monotonous boredom of what it takes to be disciplined. And I don't live the most glamorous, life. And I love opportunities like this when I can go and take trips and network and meet with people. But my days are typically, they look pretty much the same.
But that's the thing is I think typically boring is what builds. Boring builds. Yeah, when you get into a routine like that works for you, it's definitely going to work. So what on a weekly basis, what does it look like for maybe like your best coaching clients? What does their week look like as far as role play, as far as calling, time blocking? What does a typical week look like?
So it's very different for a lot of people. I'd like to think if there is such thing as like the perfect way of doing business, it is living by calendar. That's nothing new. That what people say, but like there's this whole concept that I rolled out a while back ago that I pushed on a lot of people, and it was classroom practice performance. I don't know if we talked about that or not.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
You know, the concept of learning new theories, ideology, like new ways, scripts, whatever it may be. You learn those things in the classroom, and then most people go straight to the paycheck and try to practice on the paycheck. You know, they go the first buyer, the first seller. They don't actually practice.
Right.
The one thing that I'm pushing all of my clients, I feel like I've been on a kick for probably 6 months now, where I'm really challenging everybody to become an expert at their craft. Do they know how to overcome objections? Do they know what to say? Like all of those things are so important. Do they know how to explain a contract perfectly? And so I would say like some of the best agents, they practice.
Yeah.
They practice. So when I say practice, like every day. Like an hour every day and put it in your schedule. If you think of any athlete, any sports team, like...
That's a good point.
I mean, you know, they're practicing, right? So,
yeah. So let's go back to what you talked about where you began to look at some of the fundamentals of growing a business. What are those some of those fundamentals that you still apply today?
Well, I was introduced to, you know, the basics, lead generation. We have to have some people to talk to. We have to have some leads created. Once we can create those leads, it's lead conversion. It's something else to work on. And once you have lead generation, lead capture, lead conversion. So once we're doing some things to create the leads, then how are we going to capture those leads that we've created for ourselves, and then how are we going to convert those that we've captured and turn those into business? So just understanding that early on, understanding the concepts of that early on was important, and then there's so many different ways to do it, which is something else that's really appealing about this business for me, and is appealing about growing a team, because watching them all, they want to do things a little bit different, and knowing that, hey, you can do it this way, you can do it this way, and it all still works.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if you were to start over now, knowing everything you know, what would you focus on? What would be the things that you would do to really generate your business, start your business in a way that maybe you miss some of the pitfalls that maybe we all walk through as we've been through here for a few decades?
Sure, and basically doing the same thing as I bring on agents now, and bringing them onto the point of letting them learn the business by, first off, knowing how to pull everything on a property, because it's going to make you more confident when you're on a listing appointment or representing a buyer, negotiating on that buyer's behalf.
Right.
What comps you're going to pull, in which we call now relevant sales, because every seller says nothing's comparable to their property, but what is a relevant sale? We're going to go through that. I essentially, when we go after for sale by owners and expires, I'm going to say, let me do a marketing diagnostics test on your property, so I can see what that agent missed, how I'm going to market the property, what we do differently. So I have agents do that, along with I have them learn to even make pre-calls, what we call pre-calls out to showing agents, and saying, hey, Jimmy, I see you're showing the property over at Idlewood Drive tomorrow. I was giving some feedback to my seller, so I want to touch base real quick. If your people like it, when would they like to move in?
Yeah.
How many houses have they looked at? But if you call an agent before the showing, first thing they're thinking is what? Is it under contract?
Right.
I'm like, why are you calling me before the showing?
Right.
But so that it kind of alerts them there. Now you have a little bit more rapport, and I find out how many in the household, what they're looking for, and then I can call that seller and say, here's who's coming to your house.
That's great.
Sellers love that, especially if they have a whole bunch of children and stuff. So sometimes I can call the seller and say, you know what? That showing, you don't have to scramble. They basically looked at 200 houses. They haven't even put their house on the market yet. Let's push them to the open house.
Right.
Or I can say, you know what? That person's coming in from relocation from Dallas, Texas. They're buying in 48 hours. Clean the house.
Yes.
Get the kids out.
Yeah.
You know, they want to know that, hey, is this worth my time?
Right.
Pre-calls will let them know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope you got as much out of those interviews as I did. The opportunity just to sit with these guys and hear what they're doing in their business was pretty amazing for me. Also, if you're wanting to see the full interviews, just go to my YouTube channel. There's a tab there for interviews. You can see all the interviews I've ever done, and it'll also give you an opportunity to subscribe where you can get notified when we do new interviews. I hope this is helpful, and if there's anything I can do to help you grow your business, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.